Kristen Giblin, MCC 506, weekly recording number 3. So we're back here with John today. And John, we spoke last time about setting a goal for trying to reduce your drug and alcohol use by maybe spending less time with your friends that induce that need to do drug and alcohol use. Is that correct?
Correct.
So how do you feel so far about how did you progress? Did you meet your goal? Did you drink less during the past week since I've seen you?
I drink a little less. However, with spending time with my friends, I definitely, at least drank some during the July 4th weekend.
I know, that's the hard part about this weekend. It's a holiday that people feel like they need to drink. Do you feel like if you weren't with your friends that you wouldn't have drank?
Yeah, I feel like because I'm with my friends, I feel like the need to drink a little more than if I was by myself.
Okay, so if you're by yourself, do you drink and use drugs as often?
No, not at all. I feel like when I'm with myself, I tend to be more sober than I'm with my friends.
So how often would you say that you see your friends?
I would say 2 or 3 times a week.
2 or 3 times. So 2 or 3 times out of the week is when you're drinking and using drugs.
Correct.
Other than that, you don't use it at home.
Correct. I'm sober when I'm home.
How does your mother feel about your drug and alcohol use?
I tend to hide it from her, but she definitely can see when I am using. She isn't too happy when I am using and drinking.
I can understand that. Can you understand?
No, I can. She has to understand, like, when I'm with my friends, I feel like I need to, do drugs and drink with them.
Why do you feel a need to do drugs and alcohol when you're with your friends?
Just because they're not sober, so why should I feel the need to be sober?
Do they pressure you to do drugs and alcohol?
They don't pressure me, but it's like if you're at a party and they're not sober, you feel like you shouldn't be sober either. So I in a sense, I do feel like I should be, under the influence a little bit, but I don't assume they pressure me, but.
So at the end of the day, you are making the decision to use the drugs and alcohol when you're with your friends.
Correct.
Because you don't want to feel like the person that's left out.
Correct. I don't want to be the sober one out of my friend group.
Okay. So if you say that you accomplished your goal of drinking less, that I'm assuming that means you spent less time in the past week with your friends besides because of the 4th weekend.
Correct. It's because I'm with them less, but I'm using less.
Okay. So that's an accomplishment, don't you think?
I think so. I think that maybe if I just cut down time that I'm spending with them, that I can kind of hinder how much I'm using.
That's very good. Have you considered trying to make some new friends in the community, getting involved with something that you enjoy doing, especially right now since you are on probation?
I have. I find that it's, especially at my age, that it's harder to meet people and harder to meet friends, so I find that meeting new friends and, like, being associated with new people is a little harder in terms of, like, being sober, so I feel the need that maybe I'm trying to cut back, but I'm still keeping the same friend group.
Okay. So you definitely need to make some new friends that maybe aren't using drugs and alcohol as much.
Correct, yeah.
Do you have any hobbies?
I tend to, like, do a lot of more outdoor activities when I'm not with them. But when I am with them, then again, that kind of hinders away from that fact, and I tend to use more.
What kind of outdoor activities do you do?
Maybe like swimming, running, hiking.
Do you do this by yourself, or do you do it with a group of people?
I do it with both. I do have some sober friends that I'll hike with, but then again, like, I'll swim and, like, I'll walk with, like, just by myself versus, like, being with around individuals.
Do you feel like there's a community out there that that you could meet that also likes to hike and swim that you can maybe spend more of your time with, if that is something that you enjoy?
I think so. I think it's hard at this age. Like, I think if I, like, could, like, maybe be pressured and, like, meet with a bunch of individuals that would like to do that versus, like, using or, like, drinking abundance of alcohol, but I find that it's hard at this age.
I understand. Has it been tougher for you to do things that you enjoy since I understand that you're upset about being on probation and, unfortunately right now not being able to get into the military? Is that kind of influence how you feel about spending some more time with different people?
It has definitely a good amount. I feel like if it was easier to meet people, then I wouldn't be kind of going back to the same friend group, maybe because I'm like so much older that I tend to like kind of gravitate towards them a little bit.
I understand.
Mhm.
What about spending time with your mother?
You know, it's hard. Like, I definitely want to spend time with her, but I feel like I still need to have a life a little bit. So I tend to like go back to my friends a little
No, I definitely agree with
bit.
you.
Mhm.
You're at the age that you want to have, be independent and have time with
Mhm.
yourself. What is it about your friend group that you enjoy? Even though when you're with them, you want to do drugs and you want to drink alcohol. Why are they so important to you in your life, even though they might not be such good influences?
Maybe the fact that I've known them for so long. I mean, we've known each other since high school, so it's like you tend to gravitate towards them. You know, they know a lot about you. They know a lot about your past, so you kind of want to hang out with them when you do have some free time.
Are they supportive of your current actions right now, not being able to get into the military due to your probation?
You know they are. They say they are, but then again, like I feel like they kind of tend to gravitate towards like their old habits of just like using and like I know some of them wanted to go into the military but can't because of their probation and stuff like
So
that.
it's not just you, unfortunately.
Correct. Yeah.
Does your mom have an opinion about your friends?
She doesn't like them as much as I like her to. She definitely thinks they're not the best influence on me,
Hmm.
which then again I can understand. But then again, she doesn't kind of understand where I'm coming from in sense of like knowing them for so long.
How would you feel about how do you how's your communication with your mother? Do you guys talk through things? Do you guys I know that you were close and that she
Mhm.
raised you and your father wasn't present, so
Mhm.
do you feel like you can talk to her about some things?
You know, I could definitely talk to her about a lot of things. And the day that she's like not me, she's not in my age group, so it's easier for her to say things without kind of understanding. You know, she says that I can just find new friends and so forth, but you know, at 23, it's a lot harder than, um,
You mean 18?
yeah, 18, than kind of finding a whole new friend group.
I understand. Are your friends going to college? What are you going to do when they leave? If they're not going into the military
Mhm.
because of probation, are they going to be around?
You know, a lot of them didn't go to college or they're on probation, so they are still around. It definitely makes it easier in terms of seeing them, kind of keeping in touch, and kind of, staying with that certain friend group. So, in a sense, I find it easier to gravitate towards them, and kind of going out versus finding new friends.
If I ask this a lot of some of my clients, and
Mhm.
I'm interested to know how you would feel. If you could change anything in
Mhm.
your life right now, what would that be?
Probably the friends I got involved with. I think that it's if you get involved with when you're 18, 17, and then they kind of stick with you for so on. So it's like I wish I kind of understood who they were.
Do you blame them as one of the reasons why you got caught with the brass knuckles and that, as a result led you to probation?
I don't want to say I blame them. I think everyone's responsible for their own actions, but I think a good portion of it is who you hang around with. So in a sense, if I had made better choices in life, made better friend group, maybe I wouldn't be where I am today.
So you feel like if you could change anything, you
Mhm.
would change the group of people you associate with because that would have led you down a different path than where you are today.
Correct. I feel like it is who you hang around with, and who you associate yourself with.
So, what is a goal that you have that can help you get through this probation and help you get to the military?
You know,
What are you working towards right now?
as much as I keep saying that it's hard, I need to associate myself with different people, be around different people, and people who actually want to better themselves and who actually want to do something powerful with their lives, such as like me building a career, going into the force. So I think maybe changing who I associate myself with.
And is that going to be hard for you? Or your friends going to understand why you need to separate yourself from them?
Oh, it's definitely going to be hard. I mean, they're not going to understand. They're just going to see it as kind of me being selfish in the sense that, I just want to change who I'm hanging around with so I can be better. But in reality, they should be changing who they hang around with as well.
And if they were supportive of you and of your dreams and your goals, they would understand.
Understandable. Yep, they should want to be around people better than themselves as well.
So that they can better themselves.
Mhm.
Maybe they'll follow in your trails and end up becoming better people once you are able to become better for yourself.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm thinking if I make that first step, they'll follow.